I put this picture up the other day, and I was just looking at the look on my face. And I just wanted to take some time and explain. So that was me when I was 18. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, why did I have that look? And I remembered. This picture was taken right before an SKT mission, a sniper kill team mission that I was on. I was the machine gunner on the mission, obviously, because I have a 240 Bravo in my hands right now in the picture. And the guy behind me, I'll zoom out and show you the actual picture with all of us in it. He has an M4, and then we have the team leader and the other team leader that was with us, and the two snipers, and the automatic rifleman. And that was our mission. We were to go and interdict people placing improvised explosive devices on the side of the road that was really hampering the mission of these engineers right outside of, I think this was Fob Dagger or Fob Spiker, I can't remember. This was back in 2006, guys. And so we were to walk into the hide site right at night. So we were about to launch on the mission. It was very shortly after this picture was taken. And we walked in, and we got into the hide site. It took us about, I think it was about 5 or 6 kilometers before we made it into our hide site. But that look on my face, prior to this happening earlier in our deployment, we had lost 2 men. We had lost Sergeant First Class Clay and Sergeant Devora. And I was there on the night when they were killed on that road in Baghdad from that IED. I watched them die. And that night I was told, I didn't know about this until later, that they had to take my weapon from me because of how it affected me. And I remember several days after that event took place in April 2006, how I couldn't sleep. And then something in me just clicked, made sense. I recognized what we were there to do. There's this scene in the opening scene of the movie Gladiator where Maximus, the general there, is briefing his men, and he comforts them, tells them, hey, we're about to do this, essentially, and if you find yourself riding in an open field with the sun on your face, don't be alarmed, because you are in Elysium and you're already dead. And that made sense. And that's kind of what clicked in me. You become what you need to become when you're in combat. You either cave to the pressures, cave to the stress, because everybody's stressed. Or you recognize that the stress is just a part of the environment, and you need to do your mission. And after I recognized that, I just didn't care. One instance, I was with a friend of mine. His name's Carl. I won't say his last name, but man, he's a great guy. Great guy. Yeah, he was driving, and I was up in the gun. We were in a Muhalla in one of the Muhallas in a neighborhood in Iraq. We were in one of the Muhallas in Baghdad. And at the time, my section leader's name was Sergeant Martin. He had these monster snap things, those things that they throw during the 4th of July, that when they hit the ground, they kind of make a popping sound. Well, maybe his wife or some of his family had sent him those, and he would throw those around us and kind of desensitized us to that sound. And so I was standing up in the gun at this time, pulling security, talking to Pupo on the headset that we had. And I hear a clinking sound hitting the front of the vehicle. And we're just sitting there talking, having like, what was that? And Pupo was like, I don't know, man. And then it was his idea. He says, maybe you should sit down, man. And I go, you think so? And while I was saying that, another one came in. Ding, hit the gunner's shield. And then I said to him, yeah, I think you're right. I think I probably should sit down. I'm mentioning this story because that's how desensitized I was. And what I was thinking initially was that Sergeant Martin was throwing those little monster snap things around us. So I just really didn't care. I had not forgotten, I just didn't care. I figured if I was going to get hit, then I was going to get hit. We would be in firefights and I just wouldn't care on whether I would get hit or not. And that's what's behind that look. You know, that night that we walked into the hide site on the night of this mission, we were seeing somebody that fit the description, fit the profile essentially of somebody in placing IEDs. And I remember talking to one of the snipers there. It was either Murphy or Glasser. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they were both there. And they were behind their rifles. And I remember one of them remarking to me and saying, hey, if I shoot, I need you to make sure. So that was my cue to, in a Z pattern, make sure that whatever was engaged didn't have a chance to live. And as you see on the top of that weapon system, that's a PAS-13. It's a thermal sight. So I think it's a VIC-1. It's not a very good one, but it was good for its time. And so we were trying to identify what this person was doing down in the target area. And so they were looking at it through their sights. I believe they had a sight that had night vision capability, but it didn't afford them great clarity. It just afforded them the ability to see people in the target area kneeling down at the edge of the road. I mean, quite frankly, everything was indicating that there was some threat action happening. And then they asked me to look at it with the PAS-13, and I honestly could not tell. And so our sniper team leader did not authorize us to engage, and I think he had called for some other asset to make sure, to basically confirm what we were seeing. And it ended up being that this guy was just turning on the water for his fields, so we didn't end up taking this guy out. But if you notice, this is how casually we were just having the conversation. And that wasn't because we didn't care about people's lives. It was just because that's what combat requires of you. So when I look at myself, I just see that boy at the time that was becoming a man. And the catalyst that really shaped that was that event that took place in April 1st. And everything after that was just molding me into who I was and who I became in the military. So yeah, I just had a thought today and I just wanted to share it. I've never really talked about these things, but that's me in Iraq. And that same look I would have in Afghanistan, and when I went to Afghanistan again, it's the same look on my face.